Hi there and welcome to another Games on the Block video, and today we're talking about the new summoner, Lorkus. It's a 7 mana legendary tactics dual element summoner, and it's the next Rebellion airdrop. And in this video we're gonna talk about it, talk about all the abilities that synergizes well with it, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So starting here, 7 mana, dual element, death and fire, and 1 melee, 1 magic, and then the tactics option to give affliction and life leech, or trample and fury. But pay attention is to you can give these two abilities to 2 cards, right? So I really like this card. I think it's really versatile. It's very interesting. I really like life leech, but just the +1 melee and magic to these elements in particular, I think it's really good. You can go like heavy on melee, you can go heavy on magic, you can mix both. I think it opens so many options especially in fire, which is like there's not that many like play styles that you can do. And I also want to highlight that the trample and fury part, I think it's really interesting. I think we should see more this in these legendary summoners, which is these abilities that is actually situational, right? And that's the good part of the tactics. So having fury here, especially, I mean trample as well, but fury in particular, I think it's cool. I would like to see like the next summoners having something like oppress or giant killer. But yeah. Anyway, just looking at the power level of this card, like just from a feeling alone, this looks like pretty high. I don't think it's like game breaking stuff, but it's definitely like really strong. So if you compare to a card like Rage, right, that also has a life leech and affliction here, and is like 16 mana. So if you do that with a card like Immolation, right? So imagine you have Immolation with Lorkus is kind of similar to Rage, right? So it's also big guy with in this case here has shield, the other has void, and here has blast, but the other is weapons training, which can train the other guys to do a little bit of damage as well. Yeah. So the mana is similar, but in the Lorkus case, you can actually give the life leech and affliction to another monster and buffing like the melee and magic to your whole team. So and on top of that, it's tactics, right? So you can actually see what your opponent is doing beforehand and putting exactly what is needed. So I think it's really strong. Like for 7 mana, what this is offering here is really strong. But anyway, what I want to do mostly here in this video is try to predict cards that are gonna do well with Lorkus, and I'm mostly gonna focus on just showing some abilities that I think is good. And my first idea was like just, okay, Camouflage immediately comes to mind with being able to give somebody life leech, because, well, if the card is Camouflage, then it's gonna last the whole battle, and then at that time it's gonna be like really high HP. And we already see something like this even with just Scavenger with Dr. Blight. So Scavenger and life leech, like, so Dr. Blight here would be crazy. But even cards like Technologist and Magi Necrosis, I think it's gonna be really good. Again, they actually do more damage, and even if it gets silenced, so they're gonna go back to 3 HP, and it's gonna leech for 2 instead of just 1 in the case of Dr. Blight. Again, remember, because of the Lorkus bonus here of 1 magic. But yeah, weapons training as well, then it opens so many doors. So with Moxian Rebel alone, but it's not just Moxian Rebel, because there are, if you look here, we have the Soulbound card, which is the magic weapons training, and we also have Phyrexian Hero, which can weapons train as well, especially in rule sets that melee can attack from anywhere or super sneak or whatever. So this can be really good. But even if it's not, you can still use ranged. It's not the best because again, Lorkus gives plus melee, which is a better synergy. But it's good to have this option available. Which brings us to just looking at cards that could be trained really well. So something like Riftwing, Nimble Duke Scout, like this, such a good kit with like Inspire and Blast, like doing, in this case with the Inspire, like 5 melee and 4 magic with Blast. That's kind of, for 2 mana, that's kind of nuts. Even Venari Hit Smith here is looking good. Like imagine him like really high HP, then it can also use as well the Thorns. And if the battle rule set allows, like something like Crash would be absolutely disgusting. Even Kill Agent is good as well. Of course, Green Barden Smith as usual. But yeah, I also want to highlight Scavel Chemist in particular because he has Cleanse. And I think Cleanse might be really important because another idea that synergizes really well with Life Leech is heal, right? And if you see, there are no tank heals here. So the only thing left is basically heal. And not that many great options, but there are some as well. So I think especially Windaku and Usut can do really well. But because Affliction is kind of easy to come by, especially now there is like a mirror match if you're expecting something like that. But because of Scavel Chemist now has Cleanse, and I'm pretty sure it's the only option for Cleanse here. Yes. So anyway, I think at least it allows this play, right? Like to do like Life Leech in somebody like even Usut. It's gonna get like absolutely huge, and then it's healing for a billion per turn. Like there's no way that you can do more damage than it heals. Yeah, but moving on. Another ability that I think is very important is gonna be Pierce, because like if you do damage on the armor, you're not gonna Life Leech. So Pierce kind of bypasses that, especially for the melee monsters, right? So things like Silent Shavi, Mordius here are really good. And I actually want to highlight that I think the best idea to do with Lorkus is to have monsters attacking almost every way, right? So you have like one monster attacking the sneak position, one in the snipe position, maybe some opportunity as well, and then the rest attacking the main guy. Because now with the tactics, you can look at their team first, and then if you have all this option, you can put the Life Leech exactly what is gonna be used best. So I think these are really strong cards here. But moving on, this is not like one ability per se, but I just want to show all these ways that you can attack multiple times. So things like Armored Strike, a Double Strike. What else do I have here? Retaliate. These I think combos really well with Lorkus because, of course, if you're attacking more, you Life Leech more, but also increases the chance of you landing that affliction faster, right? So all of these cards here, I mean, of course, not the low hitting ones, but stuff like Palacord Deceiver here is looking good. The Forgotten One, Soriel, Mentorov is gonna be a monster, and Dryborn Raider is probably the best one because not only is it attacking twice, it's attacking with like melee and ranged. And in this case here, he also has Shatter. So yes, it doesn't have Pierce, but it has Shatter. And even Cripple here, it would also increase his HP by 1. Actually, I think it's a she. Anyway. Another set of abilities that I think is really good, but now on the other side, instead of the offensive side, we're talking about the defensive, which is to have abilities like dodge, flying, shield, void, and scavenger. Because all it's doing, like the more you life leech, and if you have these defensive abilities, the more effective HP you have, right? So okay, we already discussed before about Riftwing. So yeah, imagine like Riftwing like doing 4 melee damage, 4 magic damage, and being so evasive. How can you kill him? Like, I think it's Riftwing is gonna be very powerful. But again, like many that we discussed before, but even cards like these are like these heavy hitters here. So we're talking about like having this sneak option and doing a bunch of damage. And then when you have a bunch of HP and you're very evasive, and even if you're not evasive, again, if you just have like stuff like Void or Shield, like something like Immolation is gonna be crazy. Of course, Green by the Smith as always. Mentorov I was talking about, and actually just talking about Mentorov, but this applies to other heavy hitters that I kind of forgot, was just to briefly talk about Flank, especially like the Torch Myrmidon. I think it's gonna be useful because it allows, just gives this extra 1 turn or 2 for the main tank to life leech and become like the real main tank, and like be in that position that it gains enough HP that that the opponent team cannot defeat in time. So anyway, actually another honorable mention that under here, I want to talk about Last Stand. So Tinderlock in particular. So the thing with the Last Stand, like if it's gonna be utilized almost like by definition, right, it means that it lasted all the way through the battle, right, and it's still alive, and it's gonna have like a huge HP pool, and when the Last Stand kicks in, it's gonna get a 50% on top of that. So like it's gonna be crazy, and the attack is gonna, even though Lorkus is only melee and magic and here is ranged, it's still fine. Like it's gonna be hitting for, let's say, 6 and life leeching for 3 every turn, and with the huge head start that he has. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Tinderlock is gonna be really good with him as well. And lastly, I think the most important card, which is not here on the website yet, is Venka. And the reason is, now that we talked about, you see, like just the fact that we've mentioned like so many abilities, so many cards, it just show how versatile this card is. And if you're doing this strategy that like having a snipe opportunity sneak option, and you have the tactics here for Fury, right? So how do you counter Lorkus, right? So if you put a taunt, you can get demolished here by the Fury. And again, you cannot protect every single angle. The only way to do that mostly is with Lily, right? Because with Lily, okay, then you can focus all the fire in your main tank, and it's not technically a taunt, so this here wouldn't work. And the problem with that is that while it's the benefit, is also the downfall, because now all the focus, you're focusing all the fire into one place. And if your strategy is just to outlast the opponent, but the opponent is life leeching and is gonna win in fatigue anyway, so you can do that. And if you just, okay, you just use a strong tank, the only tank in the game that I think that can survive all this like mixed attack is Green bALaNCeD. But then enters Venka. So my point is, like, if you're playing with Lorkus and Venka almost every match, like, and you have all these vectors of attack, like, how do you counter that? I don't know. So I think the Venka here is gonna be really strong again, not only because like it can attack from any position. So if you put in the middle there, once you get to Venka, it's already like has like a shit ton of HP, because it's hitting for so much, and it has Pierce, and it has the Oppress to counter this Green bALaNCeD play, or any other, like, these cards with no attacks with weapons training are getting quite popular. So yeah, I think this is even though it doesn't look like it, I think that's in my opinion, in my prediction, it's gonna be the best buddies with Lorkus here. But then, yeah, then just cards like we talked before, like Riftwing, all the Camouflage ones, Immolation, Mentorov. But these cards are mostly strong already, like everybody uses them, they're expensive already. Maybe just a few cards here, maybe like Magina Necrosis, for example. Pretty sure it's quite cheap, and it might become really powerful. But who knows? A lot of the cards are also stormbound, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's my analysis, my predictions about Lorkus. I really like the card. Just from the fact, again, that this video is quite long, and just shows like how versatile it is, how cool it is to theory craft about that. So if you thought about any more combos with that, like, please leave a comment. I would be very interested in hearing that. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and then I'll see you in the next one.